Hello everyone, Monique here. Let's just address it. I have no eyebrows. I have nothing on the face. I usually at least come on with eyebrows. I don't scare you, so. But in today's video, we are doing it all. Start to finish, top to bottom, we're doing it all. I'm going to share with you today the new Wayne Goss brush set. It has been a while. Oh my goodness, it's been a while since Wayne Goss came out with brushes, so I'm excited. I'm going to be trying these out with you, and we're going to see what they're all about. I'm going to share all the details, all the things. We're going to talk, you know. But you know what? I said, let's try this product too. I just got it during the Sephora sale. It's from Danessa Myricks. It's said to be able to do everything. This is the Groundworks Defining Neutrals palette for eyes, brows, face, and lips. So, new Wayne Goss brushes and Danessa Myricks palette that does it all. We're gonna do it all. Yes, we are. Shall we? Wayne Goss brushes were my first set of natural hair brushes. I did have Chanel and Saikoho, but I didn't have a full set. Okay, I had like one here, one there. Okay, and I do remember MAC had brushes with natural hair, and I had a couple of those, but I didn't have like a full set. Okay, I'm just sharing that with you because I have had and loved and used my Wayne Goss brushes forever. Who remembers this brush? You remember this brush? Who remembers this brush? This has to be like the most, the brush that I get asked about the most. Who remembers this set? I know. This is the set before that other set. See the handles? The wood? I know. Who remembers this brush? You see, I'm proving my point, right? Who remembers this brush? I bought this brush knowing I would never use it. It was solely for a collector's purpose. Okay? Because according to my husband, I'm out of my mind. But look at this brush. Remember this brush? I know, it's like a piece, it's literally a piece of art that I just want to hang like that. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about with Wayne Goss. He has delivered when it came to the brushes. So let's just say my expectations are extremely high for this new set. Okay, the first edition brushes, 5 brushes for the face and 6 brushes for your eyes. Let's get into some details, shall we? When they arrived, they were nicely wrapped in the Beautylist packaging, and each brush individually was in their own little sleeve. Nice presentation overall. I do have a dedicated brush cleaning video because natural hair brushes, you know, you gotta kind of treat them just a little bit different than your regular brushes that you can just rough up and you don't, you know, you didn't spend so much on, you know what I mean? So, quick description about these brushes. These are said to be the creme de la creme of brushes. New eye and face brushes handmade in Japan with top-tier materials, craftsmanship, and a bespoke design only Wayne Goss could create, sold as sets and individually. They are easy to use tools that combine functionality, aesthetic, and longevity. Easy on the eyes, comfortable to hold, and designed in a way that doesn't tug or irritate dry, sensitive skin. One brush, multiple uses. Wayne's precise attention to detail and exact specifications offer multiple uses for each brush. The master artisans in Japan crafted these brushes using bespoke design, only the best materials, no corners are cut. They're made with uncut goat hair, with no blunt edges, ensuring ultimate softness with a silk-like feel, while glossy handles and matte ferrules offer a comfortable hold and controlled application. I want to touch on the overall design of the brush. I will say I feel it's extremely different than what we're probably used to from our Wayne Goss brushes. Okay, this brush is beat to hell. These brushes are very different to the other Wayne Goss brushes. As you can see, the originals are very shiny. This one, you got a little bit of a matte and a glossy finish. Logos, different. The old one, it's got the Wayne Goss written out. The new one has just the WG logo. And then you flip it around and you see the actual product name. This one is the F3 face. The eyes are E. but it's very different. They feel nice in the hand. The quality is there. It's light, but so are these. I kind of feel like they're the same weight. Maybe this is like a smidgen heavier. I don't know. In the hand, they feel very the same. Just about the same height. The ferrule on this compared to this is a little bit different, but I mean, overall, very similar. Nice in the hand, feels good. First impression is a good one. The bristles are soft. Feel like they're going to glide on the face really nicely. And again, I did wash these. They did hold up well. I did get a couple of hairs that fall out, and I'm probably going to get a couple more as I'm using the brushes. You know, that's very normal. Don't be alarmed if you get these and you lose a couple of hairs. Even to this day, I have like a Chikuhodo brush. This one, I mean, I still will lose a hair here and there. It's not a big deal. It happens. The brushes are made with uncut saikoho. I hope I'm saying that properly. Goat hair. Okay. And they don't have any blunt cuts, so that makes them super soft on the face. And so far touching them, there's no denying these are super soft brushes. Super nice quality. Also, this was very important for me to know, so I want to share it with you as well. The handles are carved from hornbeam or shide. It's a Japanese hardwood known for its durability and sturdiness. So, yes, details. It's all about the details. All right, really quick, let me share some details about this palette with you, and then we'll get into the demo and put this face together because I know it's scary. I'm sorry. So this is supposed to be that palette. This is that girl. She's supposed to be able to do it all, okay? It's a multi-use talc-free palette with velvety pomades and coordinating oil-absorbing shaping powders that easily define eyes, brows, cheeks, and lips. I did see that this palette has an ingredient in this, one of my favorite priming products, the Upsolite. That's something that controls oil's smooth texture while setting and being pretty much long wearing. So I'm excited about this. One side is a pomade and one side is a powder. So let's swatch them really quick. Okay, so the bigger one is the pomade and the smaller one is the powder. Let's see. That's sculpted. Let's see. Creamy. Smooth. Okay, do not press too hard. Yeah, my finger kind of slipped there. Here's the top row. There's actually a color here, I promise you. Yeah. But that's what the top row swatch is like. And don't be an animal like me. I like shoved my finger in these. They are soft-ish if you press too hard. And here is the bottom row. And it's going to be interesting to see how brushes fit in like these little tiny spaces. Like I get for like the eyebrows and the eyes, but for the face, it'll be interesting to see how I'll be able to get in there. But we won't know unless we try. So let's do that. Yes. I'm going to start off with eyebrows. This is the E6 brush. This is so tiny, and Wayne Goss did have a brush like this back in the day that I used to this day. It was amazing. So it's nice to see this back. I'm going to go into bark. I'm going to start with the pomade and then we'll go over with the powders. Maybe if I take off this plastic off the mirror, that would be great. So, just going to... Everybody does their eyebrows different, okay? This is how I do mine, and I'm just trying out the... Is that too brown? That might be too brown. That's a little brown. So I'm going to go into sculpted. I think that one's a little bit darker. Let's find out. Is that a little bit darker? What is happening? Okay. I think Both of these colors are similar enough, you could use either. I do think that the one we used first, Bark, was like a little bit more brown. Okay. All right, so filling in, and then whatever's left on the brush going in the front. Do some little strokes in the front so it's not too harsh, and I think we did okay. Go into the powder portion over top. All right. Danessa Myricks and Wayne Goss, they did what they claimed to do. We got an eyebrow. Wayne Goss spoolie. I'm just gonna quickly just brush through so it's nice and smooth. A lot of sparse areas, and the brush is great for the little details, and this product is really nice to fill in as well. It did a good job. All right, let me do the other side really quick. All right, we've got eyebrows. Let's move on to foundation. This is the F4, which is the foundation brush. It's kind of like an oval, squared kind of oval shape. Okay, and I feel like I'm also going to be able to contour with this really, really nicely. I'm just using my skincare as my primer, Augustine's Powder the Rich Cream. I'm going to color correct, and I'm going to use this brush. Let's just go in with a little on like the side and just color correct. Multifunctional, we like that. So let's see. Definitely really soft. It's blending the product nicely on the face. Okay. I'm going to go in with my Sublimage Laydown. Take a little bit of that. And let's pick up the foundation and stipple it on the face. Bristles are very, very soft. Some people don't like using cream products with their natural hair brushes, but I've found them to work great. I haven't had any issues. I do kind of, after use, just give them a rough clean kind of. And what I mean by that is not physically rough up the brush, but more so give it kind of little swirl in your microfiber towel to get out the excess product. Just building. Okay, I am applying and blending product nicely. The shape is nice. You can get around nicely. The shape is nice because you can get right over the eyebrows. And then let's say you had your eye makeup done. Sharpen up that edge. Okay. The shape is working in our favor. I don't have any streak marks. It blended my product very, very nicely. I went over and built up like right here on the nose. And it looks good. Let's see the forehead. Forehead looks good too. Okay, I'm gonna kind of just clean this off really quick. I don't think I'll be able to use any of the other brushes for concealer, so here's what I'll do. I'll try it with this, and then I'll just blend it with my sponge. I'm not gonna make it like a whole thing. And with my Chanel concealer, taking the F4, picking up the concealer, and let's see. Okay, I think we can do that. I'm just taking that up on the lid too. Just gonna blend everybody. Because I'll use the concealer as like my eyeshadow primer. And I'll just do it on one eye, see if it makes a difference with the Danessa Myricks product. Okay. All right, that'll work to blend the concealer. I think I'm able to get in here quite nicely in the little corner there. Okay. Again, we love our multifunctional products. Yes, we do. I like using the palette whenever I'm using brushes to apply my foundation and stuff, because I can kind of blend it on the brush so I get an even distribution. So on this side, I won't put it on my lid. See if that makes a difference when we use the Danessa Myricks on the eyes. There we are applied. We're nice and dewy. That is for sure, but no brush marks. It's blended in quite nicely. All right, so we used one brush to do two tasks. We love that. We have the F3. This is the powder brush. I'm going to use this to set the under eye. Typically, I usually use this brush from Wayne Goss because I love how it just gets right up in there. But again, we're trying to use all the brushes to do everything. So I'm going to go in with my Bobbi Brown powder, my vitamin enriched pressed powder, picking up, tapping any excess, and let's set. This is such a nice lightweight powder, and this brush is so soft on the under eye. I'm also going to set the lid because this is the side that I applied the concealer on my lid. Okay. We got two big old hairs. Don't be alarmed. That's to be expected. It's my first time using the brushes since washing. Set the other eye. I'm just going to set the rest of the face. Powder brush, set the whole face. We lost a couple of hairs, but like I said, that's to be expected. First couple it goes with the brush and beyond. You're going to lose a couple of hairs here and there. But here we are. Our face is set. All right, let's contour. Again, I'm going in with F4. The palette. I'm going to go into the pomade and then we'll go into the powder. I mean, I think I'll be able to get into the small little area there, but I'm going to go into the shade Harvest. Okay. Very lightly applying Harvest. All right, so that's the pomade side of Harvest. I want to try a different brush. This is F2. I want to use F2 and go into the powder portion of Harvest to see if I can get that on the face. Okay, I was able to get in there nicely. It's a little intense. I'm just gonna kind of blend this out because it is a little dark. I'm gonna go into the sculpted shade up here and see if that's a little bit better. Yeah, I think I like the sculpted shade better on me. This is Harvest. And then this is Sculpted. Yeah, I think I like Sculpted a tad better. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, okay. I'm not panicking. I'm not. I'm gonna blend it out. These brushes are gonna make it happen. Okay. Okay. Okay, we're okay. Oh my goodness. I think I'm gonna go back into the Harvest powder for up here. These powders are intense, or am I just going in with too dark of a powder? I'm not gonna try to go in Desert. Desert's like my color. Hold on. Or maybe I should be using Desert. Okay, see, this is why we try it and we see and figure out what works best. This shade here, Core, it's not technically blush, but I want to try it as a blush shade. So I'm taking the F5. This is the long cheek brush. I'm going to go into the powder portion. And I'm going to try that as blush. Let's see how this goes. I think we can make it work. I think so. I'm gonna just get a blush, okay? So here's my Sisley brush. I'm using that same brush. Yeah. That's too much. Okay, obviously that's like intense. But this brush applies blush just the way I like it. Diffused, blended, and pretty. Yes. I don't even go back in. I'm just using whatever's left on the brush. I'm kind of done with the face. So let's do something on the eyes. So this is the E4. This is said to be the Laydown brush. So we're going to use it as the Laydown brush. I'm going to go into Sandstone, which is the lightest shade. And I'm just going to apply that all over the lid. This is the lid. I'm using the pomade first. This is the lid with the concealer as base. Let's see if that makes a difference or what. We will see. I just want to use this to kind of open and brighten up my eye. Okay, definitely goes on nicer on the, what I'll call the primed eye. Over here, I'm gonna probably have to build it up a little bit. But... And then I'm gonna go over it with the powder. Now E3 is described as a large crease brush. I'm gonna go into Desert, going into the cream part first. The shape of this definitely allows you to get in there and be precise. I want to go into this larger brush, the E1. I don't love the shade on my lid, so I'm going to go in with this E1 into Mirage. And put that on the lid and see how I feel about that. Just kind of tone it down a bit. Yeah. I'll keep the lightest shade on the inner portion. Oh, this is so soft. Go back into the E4, into the lightest shade, and reapply on the inner portion. Then with the E1 into the powder to set. E2, small crease brush. Let's go into a darker shade. I'm going to go into Harvest. Into the pomade, and let's put that in a crease. Okay. Into the powder, into the crease. The smaller brush just really gets in there. But then if you hold it up a little, you can blend out, diffuse it, or if you hold it, you can keep the pointy part. Like that. Okay, going to Sculpted that's a bit darker. Let's do something on the outer eye. The point on this definitely allows you to be a little more precise. Blended that quite nicely. Yes, it did. I will say that this color story, it really creates soft, easy wearable looks on the eyes for sure. Back into this little guy, the E6, I'm going to go into the black. This is one of those brushes that you can use to push up into the lash line, and it also does a really great job at creating a soft little wing. So let's go into the black and do that. So you push right up into that lash line to thicken up the look of the eyes. And then I will go over top and press right on the lash line. Give myself a little line. I will say a brush like this, you're going to want to make sure you keep it clean, since this is right up in your eye. So you get right up on that lash line, and then you can go over the top. See the difference? It's subtle, but it's good. So I'm going to go into the powder portion now and just set the pomade. It takes away from you having to do like a full liner. I had my Sizzly Balm applied as just a little bit of lip prep. I'm going to remove that. And then I'm feeling like a 90s lip. Like a dark lip line and then a little something. E6, I just cleaned it off a bit. All right, going in with Bark and let's lime. Okay. I think that might be too dark. I'm gonna go, let's try Harvest and see. Yeah, I think Harvest is gonna be better. All right, let's stick with Harvest for the lip liner. This is the Rose Tint Lip Oil. Here's our finished look using the new Wayne Goss brushes and the new Danessa Myricks palette. I tried to use solely this palette, but I did have to grab a blush. There's not blush in there. But for the most part, I was able to use this all over the face, eyes, lips, and all of the brushes except one. I didn't use the F1. It's like an angled cheek brush. This is another multifunctional product. You can angle it this way, use it for highlight, use it for bronze or blush. You can even use this for powder. But we did use almost all of the brushes. But technically, I didn't use just that one. I figured I'd share with you brushes from my existing Wayne Goss collection that I feel are comparable to ones in the new collection to see, hey, if you already have these, do you need them? I didn't need them, but boy, did I want them. So here we are. Here we are. Okay, so what I did was I pulled my 01 Wayne Goss foundation brush in comparison to the F4. No, not even, but I just wanted you to see what the original foundation brush from Wayne Goss look like in comparison to this one. Shapes are completely different. This one's a little bit angled. It's a little bit bigger. The shape on this is actually really great. I kind of thought that I wouldn't love it for foundation. I would probably just stick to it for contouring and bronzing and sculpting the face, but it actually did pretty good. So just for comparison, there they are. My beloved number 14. I have like 6 of these brushes. I love these brushes for blush so much. And then for the times when I don't want a lot of highlight, when it's super diffused, I do use these as well. So these are the number 14 from Wayne Goss, and this is the new F5. I think they're cousins. Okay, like this is the baby cousin. I think ultimately she's going to start looking like these super puffed out and nice and loosely packed and just diffuse blush on the face beautifully. So these are quite comparable. So if you loved the number 14 and because it's not available anymore, this is it. Yes, it's the new and improved. Yes. And definitely I'm going to have to pick up a single of this. I don't know if it's sold out, but yes. Okay, so the number 2 is a bit smaller than the number 13. See, the number 13 is pretty big, and the number 2 is a bit smaller. It's like the smaller version. But I pulled this to compare with the F2. Ultimately, these will pretty much all do the same thing. Contour the face, buff your blush. You can use this to set, but I think if you wanted a 13 or a number 2, yeah, comparable, very much. Number 11, this is my go-to bronzer brush. I have like 4 of these as well. This is a go-to. I'm always using this. I love using this for bronzer. I don't remember if Wayne Goss described the number 11 for powder, but this one, the F3, was described for powder. I think they're quite similar. I do. I think they'll do the same things, and I think I'm going to be reaching for this for bronzer to try it out. But this was nice for powder. It did a good job to set and all the things. So I think these are quite comparable. But I will say this has like a little bit of an angle. I didn't even notice that until now. And so does this brush. So that's a little, you know, something to know. But I do think that the F3 and the number 11, I think we can achieve the same things with these, and they're similar enough. The new E1, which is the large laydown brush, I think it was called, in comparison to the number 17. Yeah. The number 17, it's not as fluffy as the new one, and I think that the new one is just a bit bigger, just a little bit. But I think you'll be able to achieve the same exact thing with the two. These brushes, I'm sure you've seen them over the years from me, the number 7 and number 8. These tiny little guys. I love using these for detail work on my eyes. But now we have the E6, which is pretty much the same thing. I don't think it's comparable to this one, but I definitely think it's comparable to the number 8. The number 8's a bit bigger versus this new one. It's a lot smaller, but we're like looking for the number 8. This is definitely it, just smaller. Do we remember when Wayne Goss came out with a synthetic set? Well, let me remind you. Because I pulled it to compare with the E5, which is the pencil brush. So I have here the 27S, which is from the synthetic line, and then I have the number 5. So the new one, which is the E5, the synthetic, and then the number 5. Pencil brushes. This one, it's huge. But these two are comparable enough. Right there. All right, guys. So overall, very happy to have this new brush set. It's beautiful. It's soft. They performed well. One thing I will say with these brushes is there have been times where I buy a full set of brushes and you'll get some brushes in there that are great brushes, but you never use them. You know what I mean? They just never get used. I think this set, he really put it together right. You know, the right amount of face to use multifunctionally, the right amount of eyes that you'll use all of them. So speaking for myself, I can see myself reaching for and using every single one of these like my other Wayne Goss brushes and giving them lots and lots of love. Yeah. I'm happy I got the set. I am. I was a little at first. I was like, do I need them? I don't need them. I mean, reality, I don't need them. But I'm glad that I have them. Definitely. The Danessa Myricks palette. I get the concept of this palette. I just need to kind of play around with it a little bit more to kind of really figure out the best shades for my face. I think I went into the dark ones thinking, okay, use those. But I kind of still have to play around with it, but I like the concept. I think it's great. I love that you can use this, just this palette for everything. It'd be interesting to see if we get an extension of something like this with like blushes that you could also use as eyeshadow. I don't know. But this, it performed. It does what it claims. I still think how I think about these tiny little slivers of the powders. Getting the brush in there. I still feel how I feel. Maybe that can change as I continue to use the product, but first impression, it was good. Like it. Danessa Myricks makes some good stuff. Let me know what you think. Comment down below. Let's talk about it. Thank you as always for spending some of your time with me today. Please don't forget to give today's video a thumbs up if you liked it and subscribe if you haven't. Stay beautiful, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.